Hi there, I'm on to the making the turret. I've looked at this and scratched my head a few minutes now, good 10 or 15 minutes, and I think I've got it right. I haven't. I'm just going to put the ball bearings in. You have two little nicks in the front of this, one here and one there, so I tend to orientate it this way, which is what it basically is here. The nick there is a little nick here, and the same as a nick here, and I assume it's still the same, corresponding. And what I have found is when you put this together, there is a small hole here, and that hole is where this little funny shaped thing is there, which also on the reverse side is a little mark which fits into that corresponding hole like that. Oops a daisy. Which should, that's it, line up with the holes. Of course putting the rest of the stuff in there. So what I'll do is I'll put the ball bearings in and I'll assemble it. Cheers. A little bit of grease, then gently pop those in. They're just a little tiny little pressure, just see it all click in. There you go. Then, as far as I'm aware of, this is the other piece that goes in and runs round them. Then I've got to do the same with this. Sorry, I've got to do the same with that. I'll come back to you in a minute. Right, all the little bullies are in there. So all I need to do now is locate that hole there. Looks, twist that so it clips into place. Oops. Oops. Difficult to do with one hand. That's it. Then I can turn that with my other hand. Okay, and that should just screw in place now. Let's see how we go with there. Cheers. There you go, so there you have it. I think that's right. Then just got to assemble that to the big piece, which I'll be back to in a minute. Hi again. Turret rotation unit. Couple of little gears. This piece presses into that piece, which is not a problem, which fits in there, which that fits in there. These two gears here with the pins stuck together, and that's the motor there with the whatever that little diode thing is there facing up, as I'm led to believe, and that just sits in there. So it's just a question of greasing it all up and popping it all in, and we'll see how we go from there. Cheers. Right, bit of grease in there, put that together, 2 minutes. What I'll do is just put the top on, locate things and screw it down, see how we go. Cheers. Right, recoil motor. That's the little switch with a screw in there. The little piece R5 goes underneath that slit and underneath here, so when you turn that it slides that out. You'll see that in a moment. Grease right way up. I assume it's like that because there's two wires at the top, and it gives you the impression here that there's two wires at the top, so I'm just assuming that that's the way it goes, which I think it is. So all it is now is just the top on and the screws in, and we'll come back to that. Cheers. Right, that's stuck together. Make sure you've got the right shafts in the right holes, otherwise it won't fit. Also, when you put the return spring on, I haven't, but wipe your hands, because it's if you've got grease on them, and be prepared to get that flying across the room and lose it in the carpet monster. which I've dropped, but I've got a hard floor, so it's not too bad, and I watched it. But anyway, that's a bit of a bugger to get on, but there's got little notches in it, so hopefully that's alright. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, that's that bit done. That's the trigger mechanism there as well. Okay, right, cheers. Right, it's the gun shield, etc., which is fairly easy again. I've just glued the wiring for the so-called machine gun. It doesn't seem to want to stop in, which is a bit of a pain in the bottom. So as you can see, I'll have to go back to plan B, I think. Sorry about that. So I've got to glue that in there, which doesn't seem to want to stop in every time I touch it. This is the so-called battle system light optional, which you just bend the wires gently down so it fits in there, and then you can see, which is the flap there, it sits on here. This flap moves, you just glue the ends where the pin goes in. That should go on there. They sometimes call it I think it's the rotating light that you can have on when you're not in battle. And then it just either tucks away under here, but I've put it in and see what happens anyway. I don't know all the finalities of it all. I'm not gluing that on, of course, at the moment. But there you go, that's that light. There's the other bits and pieces. I've just got to tack a bit of glue in here. I'm reluctant to use super glue, but by the looks of it, I've tried the normal glue and it just doesn't seem to want to hold. Sorry if my camera's jerking about there, sorry. It's tight, but evidently it just needs a little bit of something in there just to hold it. Excuse my big mitts. And I think that's all I'm going to do for today, because I'm going to undercoat the barrel, which I'm going to do shortly, and that's about it for today. So lots of fiddly bits, but nothing too awkward at the moment. What else is that? Oh, as you can see, I put the little wiggly woggly in there, put the switch in there. That's all got to sit in the top of the turret, which I haven't got to yet. So that's all I'm going to do for the time being. Thanks for watching, and cheers. Hi all. Never worked with this stuff before. Is it the radiator grill? Oops, the radiator grills, whatever. I don't know what it's called now. Anyway, photo etch stuff. Sorry. Anyway, get in. Right, I've got to trim around these and put these on, which is number 39. I'm dipping in and out because these are all, I'll call it the NATO green. So I'd like to get these attached and sorted, put onto the body, and a few other little clips and bits and bobs for painting, because evidently it is NATO green and then it's, you know, camouflaged. But I won't be putting the shovels on and a few other bits and pieces just yet, but these two big items I will do, because they are part of the green, and it'll just save doing it later. So what I'm doing now is the etching. Never done it before, just cut out and bend round, so I'll see how we get on from there. Anyway, cheers all. Just been doing a few of the little pieces here, handles, put the hatches on. These are just magnets at the moment. I'm not happy with that movement there, but I'll sort that out. So these little handles, hatches, it's all got to be painted over green, so that doesn't matter as far as I'm concerned. You can see a slight glue burn. Hopefully they'll be okay. I'll check them all later tomorrow when it's dry. I'm only using the thin. I put the hooks on at the front here as well. See if they go okay. A few other little bits, and that's about it for tonight. There you go. Cheers. Thank you very much. Hi all. Right, it's in the kitchen, and I'm afraid, and a bit of spraying. I put the covers on and various bits and pieces, as you probably noticed. Just a question of putting a bit of the NATO green on. Another bottle empty. Done the wheels. Hopefully they've turned out okay. Hopefully I can get them cleaned up and the rubbers put on. And oops, you can see that. And then touch up the respray again with those, which will be good. I've done the barrel. That's on a, I'll put that down there in a minute. It's on the barrel, it's on a screwdriver, sitting in there. It's had a couple of little coats. Some there's a bit more on the top end, etc. But as I said, that's a question of just building that up. But that's up out the way. We'll dry it. I've just got to put a little bit more X20 thinners in the last little pot and get a little squidge out. So I think that's about it. I've done the bottom hull chassis section. This I've done, which of course sits in here. So I've done everything underneath, so it makes it a bit less problematic. There you go, it ain't screwed in, it ain't lined up, I just put it in there, as you can see. So perhaps another little coat underneath, and I've touched up some of the bits I put on yesterday. Done these. These are only magnetically stuck on, so I'm going to take them off and whatever. But there you go, put the little pips in there. Done the hooks, so there you go, bit of painting, so hopefully that's okay. Cheers all. I'll just have a crack at the etch parts again. I'm going to make up the baskets. Oh, pardon me, which is number 64. I'm doing the top turret. I'm trying to get a few bits on that. Oops, excuse me. The top turret, the top section. I'm going to cut a few bits out, try and get a few bits stuck on for painting, etc. See what I can get on there for painting. Try not to put the glass in at the moment, but I'll work. See, it's all really tidy here, isn't it? That's the joy of being single and on your own. Glue's out, this is out the baskets, the etching parts are out. So let's crack on and see what we can get done. Cheers all. Right, I hope it isn't too confusing. I've been working on the top section a little bit, put the magnet in, put a few side pieces on, put some end pieces on. Pretty easy going. Nothing complicated as such. I've even wrote my name in the top there. Don't ask me why. The aerial, put that on, and I thought to myself, yeah, okay, I'll put it on. So there's that. I could spread out, as you say, so it's not much of a problem. I can get my fingers out. But what I thought I'd do now is the side turret armour panels, which is these left and right, and they are marked. They are hinged for the actual locking mechanism. When you put the turret on, they have a little piece that goes in there which twists to lock it onto the actual tank. But anyway, this is all ready for not painting, but getting stuff ready for painting again for my next paint session. So if I can get a few of these bits put together, these are hinged with screws, so that's not too bad. and I can get that sorted, and a few little bits to get ready for painting for my next session. So as I says, the tank's coming on quite well at the moment. It's in the spare room. This is basically the top section on. Wheels on. I haven't put the front sections on. This is only just dropped on, as I says, and that's only just dropped on. That's not screwed in. But as you can see, it doesn't look too bad with the wheels on. I've still got to decorate the track, which is another point I've got to do. But yeah, I'm quite happy so far with that. Looking alright. Doesn't seem to have any major problems. Once the wheels have gone on, I'll put the torsion bars right. So there you go. So looking good. Looking good. Anyway, cheers. Oops. That's it, focus. Right, I'm not trying to skip anything. Most of it's pretty self-explanatory, and all it is at the moment is I'm just putting on various bits and pieces on the front. I should have put these on, evidently I'm not an expert model maker. I should have put these on the front earlier and sprayed them over, because they're all green, and then evidently there's some patination. I put these clips on because I can get a small paintbrush in there to paint that orange, and I can get my little knife in there to take my little bit of tape off because there's a light underneath there. I'll put the sliding piece across here. I can get the glass in underneath. I can get the glass in underneath here, which isn't a problem. Well, it's not glass, but it's plastic clear. Put the radiator on there. I'm just going to put the so-called shoe bits on here. I'll put these little bits on here, these little bits on here, which can all be sort of spray painted the NATO green. And I'm just going to fill these little blocks up here with a few bits and pieces. But that's technically what I've just been doing. It's just little pieces which are self-explanatory. So evidently I didn't go into great detail about putting them on. As you're probably also aware of, I've done a little bit of painting. Hang on a second. I've picked up some of the rollers, painted those black, also painted the front idlers, which go on here, so they're painted. I'm still trying to make good of the tracks, you know, weather them as something, but I'm still working on that. But those haven't come up too bad. A little tiny brush to go around the outside. Not too bad considering. Very difficult to see. And then a little bit of weathering I can do later. So it's all coming on. All pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, cheers folks.